I've had to put my hair in my hat because it's been raining and it's very damp, and I washed and straightened my hair this morning, and if it gets wet it's gonna go all puffy, so I've tucked it up all in my hat and I look like an egghead. But anyway, I've been called into action because I'm up at the field because Stephen did his back in a little while ago, but there's some jobs that need doing and he can't do them, so I've been called in to give him a helping hand.
What, just pull?
Right, hold up. That's it. Now swing him round. Now go and do the electric light. Lift that up. Now you're going to do it. And then you hold it up with your one hand. And then just pull the plug out. And then just bring that round. Just tuck that in there. Just gently. Out there. Lovely.
Right, okay.
That's the first part.
Right.
Right, go on in you get, and I'll show you. Right in the tractor, I mean.
Oh, in.
I don't know what you're getting in there for.
This is Steve, you might recognise him. He's now 50, so he looks a bit different, and he's got a bad back, so he can't really do much. Right, what do you want me to do then,
Right,
darling?
so just go forward slowly, but dip your clutch and I'll tell you.
This one?
Yeah.
Steve has brought a new mower for his new venture of making hay, but after getting it home we quickly realised that there was a problem. The mower was actually too small for the tractor. After a few phone calls, the sales rep sent us an attachment that was meant to push the mower out further and solve the problem. He seemed very confident it would work. I, on the other hand, was not quite so convinced, but Steve still wanted to give it a good go anyway. I think at this point it had become less about whether it was actually a good idea and more about the fact that we were both determined to at least try before admitting defeat. But even after all that, with bad backs, not enough time and a fair bit of optimism, we eventually had to admit the inevitable. It just wasn't going to fit. So for now, at least, we've given up.
I'm just at the Home Sweet Home apiary because I'm very excited because I'm about to take those final 2 supers off, which contain cut comb. So I've never done that before, so I'm really excited to see how it's come out. It's absolutely freezing, it is like really windy and it's trying to rain. I've brought the cut comb back now and I'm going to have an attempt at cutting up in squares and putting it into the little plastic boxes. This is my first attempt at doing anything like this, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to go, and by the looks of things the bees haven't done nice straight frames for me. It all seems very, very wonky, so we'll give it a go.
Cut comb honey is basically honey exactly as the bees have made it. Nothing extracted, filtered or processed. It's simply cut straight from the frame into pieces. To make the squares, I use this metal cutter to press down through the comb and create neat sections ready to go into the tub. It's quite a messy job, especially once the honey starts warming up, but I always think cut comb honey looks really satisfying once it's finished. A lot of people eat it just spread onto toast, crumpets or fresh bread, and some even eat the wax comb itself as well. The wax is completely edible, although some people prefer to chew it a bit like gum, then spit it out afterwards once all the honey has gone. It's definitely one of the most natural ways you can eat honey, because it's exactly how it comes out the hive, straight from the bees with very little done to it at all.
I'm definitely happy with how that came out, you know. For my first attempt, I didn't think that was too bad. I've learned a lot of lessons. I've got to make sure that I keep an eye on the supers when I put them in, so the bees draw them out nice and straight. But I'll definitely do it again, and I think I'll order some more foundation. So yeah, really pleased with it. And it was fun to do. I'm at the Caribbean apiary. I've come to put some propolis screens on. Again, it's something I've not done before, but I would really like to give it a try.
Propolis is a sticky resin that bees collect from tree buds and sap, and they use it inside the hive to seal up gaps and to help protect the colony from bacteria and disease. It's sometimes called bee glue because it's incredibly sticky, especially on warm days, and the bees use it almost like their own natural disinfectant inside the hive. If there's a small gap, a draft or anything they don't like, they usually cover it in propolis. People have been using propolis for years in things like tinctures, throat sprays and health supplements because it is believed to have antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. It's one of those hive products that a lot of people have heard of but probably don't realise actually comes from bees collecting resin from trees. The screens work by creating lots of small gaps that the bees don't like, so they fill them up with propolis. Once the screens are covered, I can take them off and freeze them, which makes the propolis easy to crack and collect. Then I just have to decide what I'm going to make with it. This hive has always been unbelievably sticky. Every lid, crown board and frame always seems to be completely glued down with propolis, and opening them is usually a bit of a workout in itself. But strangely, this hive actually means quite a lot to me. The queen in here is related to the very first queen that came with the first nuke I ever brought.
I think I've put them on properly, we'll see how I get on. I hate this roof, it's really heavy. Yeah. I don't know why I'm matching it strap up. This roof is so heavy, it's definitely not gonna blow off. That's good, the swarm seems to have stayed, so they seem to have made themselves at home and they seem to be eating the wet supers, so yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I had actually forgotten about this hive that's been tucked away in the corner of the Caribbean apiary. She is actually a really good queen that I just caught on the nick of swarming, and I stuck her in this box with very few bees because I was going to come back and sort her out later, but then of course I forgot. But she's a really good queen who's done really, really well considering she had bare resources. But I'm now going to make life a little bit easier for her and move her to a different apiary where there is only 2 other hives and lots of forage around there. I always worry when I have lots of hives in one apiary as I'm always conscious about disease. This probably isn't the most technical or professional way of blocking up a hive entrance ready for moving, but a bit of cardboard tape works surprisingly well. It's quick, simple and cheap way to keep the bees safely inside during the journey over to the wood apiary, where hopefully they'll have a bit more space. It's lucky I was feeling strong today. I've only opened up their entrance a little bit so they can defend their entrance easier. And a bit of feed as well will give them a flying start in the wood apiary. What is going on with this hive now? Why are they all outside on the breeze blocks? I better have a look and find out what's going on. Okay, so the problem is that I hadn't realised how quickly this hive had expanded, and I'd only given them 1 super, which they have filled fantastically with honey already, and they've filled their brood box right to the edge. So I think it's time for some more supers to give these poor bees some space. And some cut comb frames in this super as well. It also turns out that bees like breeze blocks too. They seem to suck the moisture and minerals out of them as well. The bees definitely appreciate having this on their doorstep too.